You do not suffer because you feel. You suffer because you cling. You cling to people, to expectations, to words that no longer remember you, to what you do not control, yet insist on controlling. The Stoics already knew this. Whoever depends emotionally on what they do not govern lives in slavery. Today, you will learn 4 Stoic rules that do not promise to numb emotions, but to free you from their dominion. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming unshakable. If you are ready to stop reacting like a hostage and start acting as the sovereign of your own mind, stay until the end. This is disciplina do logos. Emotional attachment is one of the greatest mistakes of modern life. From an early age, you learn to define yourself by the gaze of others. Seek validation. Confuse love with dependence. Confuse pain with depth. But the Stoics saw this as a silent trap. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but the judgments we make about them." The problem is not losing someone. The problem is believing you needed that person to be whole. The problem is not rejection. It is handing over the governance of your peace to something external. Stoic detachment does not eliminate love. It eliminates emotional slavery. And now, let us move to the rules. Rule 1. Never confuse what you feel with reality. The first Stoic rule of detachment is brutal. Your feelings are not facts, they are interpretations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Erase the imagination. Say to yourself, this is only an impression." When someone ignores you, you feel rejection. But rejection is not a fact, it is a narrative. When someone pulls away, you feel abandonment. But abandonment is an emotional label, not an objective truth. The Stoic learns to pause inwardly and ask, what actually happened? And what is my mind adding? Most people live reacting not to the world, but to the stories they invent about it. Detachment begins when you separate the event from the interpretation. Event, someone did not reply. Interpretation, I am not important. Event, the end of a relationship. Interpretation, I will never be loved again. Suffering is born in the interpretation. Train this. When you feel something intense, say silently, "This is only an impression. It is not reality." This simple act creates emotional distance, and distance generates freedom. Rule 2. Do not hand your value over to the behavior of others. The second pillar of Stoic detachment is understanding something few accept. Another person's behavior does not define your value. Seneca warned, "He who measures himself by others will never be sufficient." When you become emotionally attached, you make an invisible agreement. If they treat me well, I am worthy. If they reject me, I am worthless. This is dangerous, because now your self-worth is outside your control. The Stoic builds inner value, not reactive value. They understand people change. Emotions fluctuate. Desires are unstable. The attached suffer because they expect constancy where only impermanence exists. Detaching is not about caring less. It is about measuring yourself less by what is unstable. Ask this question often. Does this depend on me? If it does not deserve emotional power over you. You can love someone without kneeling emotionally before them. Whoever kneels loses posture. Whoever loses posture loses peace. Rule 3. Love is one who can lose. This is one of the most misunderstood rules of Stoicism. The Stoics were not cold, they were prepared. Epictetus taught, when you kiss someone, remember you are kissing a mortal. Not to distance yourself, but to avoid destroying yourself if you lose them. The attached love as if they were owners. Stoics love as those who recognize transience. Everything can depart. People, phases, relationships, status. Whoever accepts this suffers less when it happens. Detachment is loving without demanding permanence. It is presence without possession. The more you demand that something be eternal, the more fragile you become. The Stoic says, while you are with me, I will honor you. If you leave, I will remain whole. This is not indifference. It is emotional maturity. Rule 4. Train solitude, so you do not depend on presence. The final rule is quiet, but powerful. Those who cannot bear their own company cling to any presence. Marcus Aurelius spent nights writing to himself, "The Stoic mind is trained to be alone without despair. Solitude is not the enemy. It is an emotional laboratory. When you learn to be well with yourself, you do not beg for attention. You do not accept crumbs. You do not lose yourself to be accepted. Solitude strengthens. Attachment weakens. Train yourself to be alone without distractions, without validation, without anesthesia. Whoever masters solitude masters attachment. Detachment is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of mastery. You were not made to live as a hostage to people, to expectations, to reactions. Stoicism does not pull you away from the world. It returns you to yourself. Remember the 4 rules. Your feelings are not facts. Your value does not depend on others. Love without demanding permanence. Strengthen yourself in solitude. Whoever governs their own mind is never abandoned. If this content resonated with you, subscribe to Logos Discipline. Here we do not create cold men. We create untamed minds. Until the next video.